Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, how are you going? May goodness and blessing always be with you. Stay safe everyone. Well, this is my first time I make a research paper because I'm the 7th semester right now, so I got this subject, especially in research methodology, so I have to make a research paper. Well, because I like watching movies so much, so I chose to analyze feminism perspective, the Little Women movie by Louis Mael Code. Alright, to understand further how to make a research paper, I would like to explain in a brief about the arrangement and what should you write inside. Well, this is my final test assignment in my research paper. Because I like watching movies so much, so I chose this movie to be my research paper. Can you guess it? What is that movie? Yes, of course, this is the Little Women movie. I like this movie so much, so I chose this movie to do my research paper. Well, when you would like to start making your research paper, don't forget to make your title. You have to find your title. Make your interesting title. Yep, because I like feminism. I like to analyze feminism perspective, so I use this title. I make this title to be my research paper: The Struggle of Women Siblings Without Father in Feminist Perspective and Little Women Movie. Yep, because we know that a title is made to represent the content of the paper. So it means that by reading the title, someone can grasp the direction or understand directly what you are going to analyze in your paper. So don't forget to make your interesting title. Well, next, after finishing, you make a title. For the next step is you have to write an abstract here. Yep, talking about an abstract is like a movie trailer. Yes, people will only consider reading the rest of the manuscript if they find your abstract interesting. So, in the abstract, there are some aspects of the entire paper in abstract. For example, like the overall purpose of the study and the research problems you investigated, the basic design of the study, major findings or trends found as a result of your analysis, and for the last is a brief summary of your interpretation and conclusion. So here in my abstract, I also write the purpose of the study, like what is the purpose of the study, what method that I used in this paper. I write the purpose of this study and what method I use in this study. But sometimes your lecturer will ask you to include an abstract or general summary of your work with your research paper. So therefore, enough key information, for example, like summary result, observations, trends must be included to make the abstract useful to someone who may want to reference your work. So how do you know when you have enough information in your abstract? A simple rule is to imagine that you are another researcher doing a similar study, then ask yourself, if your abstract was the only part of the paper you could access, would you be happy with the amount of information presented there? Does it tell the whole story about your study? If the answer is no, then the abstract likely needs to be revised. Well, for the next is chapter 1. Chapter 1 is introduction. In introduction, there are some of subtitle inside, for example, like background of study, and then statement of the problem, scope and limitation of the study, goals of the study, function of the study, and for the last is systematical presentation. Well, the introduction serves the purpose of leading the reader from a general subject area to a particular field of research. It means that It established the context of the research being conducted by summarizing current understanding and background information about the topic. You have to state the purpose of the work in the form of the hypothesis, question, or research problem. And don't forget to make a brief explanation your rationale. Well, in background information in your introduction should indicate the root of the problem being studied. Background information expand upon the key points stated in your introduction, but is not the main focus of the paper. It means like sufficient background information helps your reader determine if you have a basic understanding of the research problem being investigated and promotes confidence in the overall quality of your analysis and findings. For example, like here, because I would like to analyze a feminism perspective, so the first word that I write in the background of study is what's that? The meaning of feminism by the expert. For example, like here, according to Deborah Madsen, feminism relates to women, blah 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 blah. So, and after that, in the background of study, I put a little synopsis about the Little Women films, because maybe some of you or some of your readers haven't watched that movie yet, so it doesn't matter if you write the synopsis of the Little Women movie in your background of study. And of course, the last and a brief of the study, you can explain a little bit about the topic that you are going to analyze. Like, for example, like here, well, the brief of study is about the struggle women sibling while living without father and the feminist based on the movie. In the background of study, you have to put the brief of the study about your topic that you are going to analyze. And for the next statement of the problem. The statement of the problem in the research are: how can women siblings struggle each other for living with their single mother in the Little Women movie? You can write the statement of the problem, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 problem you may, but based on your understanding about the topic. And also scope and limitation of the study, goals of the study, function of the study, and systematical presentation. Well, in the chapter 2 is about review of literature and theoretical framework. Well, in the review of literature, it is important to think of knowledge in a given field as consisting of 3 layers. The first is there are the primary studies that researchers conduct and publish, and the second are review of those studies that summarize an often new interpretation built from and often extending beyond the original studies. And for the third is there are the perception, conclusion, opinion, and interpretation that are shared informally that become part of the lore of field. What should I write in the review of literature? I write some previous studies that related to review of literature, and here I use 2 references about review of literature, and these references can guide me how to analyze my topic in my paper, in my research paper. And here the first reference is from Ruhmawati Sari about daughter sacrifice while living with a father, and Louis My Alcott. And for the second is by Routledge 2014 about the little and the feminist imagination. Well, in a study after completing literature reviews, the next thing we do is create a theoretical framework. Theoretical framework which represents the researcher's beliefs about the existence of a certain phenomena. Later, the theoretical framework that is created will be tested for correctness. So, what should I write in the theoretical framework? I make a correctness about the phenomena in feminism perspective. Well, and after that, I use the feminism theory, and after that, I use the concept of feminism by Simone de Beauvoir. Well, next is chapter 3, research methodology. It includes approach of the study, data source, collecting data, methods of the data analysis. Well, in the research methodology section of a research paper provides the information by which a study's validity is judged. The method section answers two main questions: how was the data collected and how was it analyzed? For example, like here, for the data source, because I like analyzing the feminism perspective in Little Women movie, so the first source of data is collected from the movie. And also the writer searched some information from internet to study from some journals that can support the data. And for the second, data is based on selected quotation taken from the text of the film. And the quotations are directed to the women's struggle in the Little Women novel. And each quotation must be properly connected to be available analysis. And for the collecting data, the method used for collecting data is library and browsing research. The steps are followed by reading and understanding the story of the Little Women novel, which contains 270 pages. And for the second data is watching Little Women movie that has a long duration for about 2 hours. And for the method of data analysis, by reading all references. This is really important for you because if you would like to make a good research paper, you have to read a lot, all the references that you find based on the topic that you are going to analyze. For example, like here, the first step is to watch the movie as the main source. And while watching the movie, the writer gives mark to the important things by doing screenshot from the movie, such as the information and skin that related to the topic, especially in the feminism topic, the women's struggle and sacrifice. Well, and for the chapter 4 is analysis. Because I would like to do analyzing about the women's struggle, so I have to give a proof or give an evidence which part or which scene in every characters that related to the struggle woman. For example, like here, Josephine March, I make a screenshot while I made a screenshot while I was watching the movie. The purpose of this is to make an evidence in this part of or in this scene. We can make an analyzing about the feminism perspective based on every characters. Well, for the last is conclusion. The conclusion is intended to help the reader understand why your research should matter to them after they have finished reading the paper. For your information, a conclusion is not merely a summary of your points or restatement of your research problem, but for most essays, one well-developed paragraph is sufficient for a conclusion, although in some cases, a 2 or 3 paragraph conclusion may be required. So, don't forget to summarizing your thoughts and conveying the larger implication of your study. And for the last is references or bibliography. Well, everyone, I think that's enough for me to explain a little bit about my paper. Well, I hope that this video will help you when you would like to do your research paper. Thank you very much. Don't forget to stay safe and healthy always. Bye.